Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. We're heading out to the beach this morning to do some foundation waterproofing. This is an easy DIY. If you have this problem where water's coming in through the side of the wall, maybe up under your tile floor or coming into the hardwood floors, this is a good DIY for you. But before we start, we're going to walk out here to the beach, check out the ocean. Something that we always like to do is see the surrounding area where we're working. And this is just beautiful. It's early morning here. It's kind of crisp and cold, but this water looks so good. We have a new office here in South Florida. Adam Thompson is the franchise owner, and he is able to clean, repair, install, replace all parts of the rainwater drainage system. So if you need a new French drain, or if you need just to have the channel drain cleaned or replaced, he can take care of that. Use our service sign-up sheet and schedule this online. So we're actually working right behind that beach house right there. We're heading back over to the job site. Just kind of wanted to show you the beach. It's really gorgeous, you guys. If you've never been, to the Atlantic Ocean here in Florida, I highly recommend that's where you make one of your vacations. We're just going through the pathway, and again, it's a rather chilly morning here, but beautiful, beautiful spot.
Right over here, and they've got an issue in the backyard that we're going to be working on. It comes up through the floor in the back.
The problem here is every time it rains hard, water has been flooding into this bedroom just under that window. The homeowners actually replaced the entire window and wall, thinking that's where the water came from. However, that's not the case. What's happening is that water is flooding up under the floor, and it's coming through right at the footer and the first course of block. This is a real typical problem. It's just straightforward, waterproofing. And what needs to be done is you excavate the footer, clean that off, put gravel perforated pipe, some people call that the French drain. You seal the wall with liquid rubber, cover it back up, and discharge to daylight. If you can't have daylight, you use a sump pump, and that's what we're using here.
We're starting at the fence, coming all the way down along this wall. We'll break off the mortar, and we'll come right to the side of the footer, and that's where our pipe will be, and gravel. So we're excavating down along the foundation wall, and you can see the tree roots that are trying to grow under the floor. The floor level is about right here, and they're going right through the concrete. And this is a palm. They put out tremendous root systems, way more than you think, because they're seeking water everywhere.
Working in a small courtyard, you usually have to remove a lot of debris before you can dig. Let's take a look at where we're going to discharge. We're discharging right into the driveway. We're going to pull up these pavers, these great big stones, and the pop-up will sit right there by the shovel. This is 1.5 inch, Schedule 40 PVC, and it comes from the sump pump. And that's back here where the problem is. Remember that the sump pump lifts that water up and sends it to wherever you're discharging to daylight. Right now, we're cleaning off the footer with the blower. We've already excavated that wall. And next, we'll go ahead and seal that wall, wash it off, and we'll seal that wall with liquid rubber.
Once we blew the footer off, you can see how bad this has been set. You can see the block. You can see the holes and the root system that's going right underneath all of this. Very poor laid foundation, but solid, but water's definitely penetrating. You can see giant voids all the way through as we come down. More and roots, really bad shape. However, once we lay our gravel perforated pipe, gravel, and paint this wall, that should solve this problem completely. So again, we're using a rubber coat blackjack product number 57, and you can see we've got a big spongy brush. We paint right at the seam of the footer first, and you paint up the wall covering all of the block, and this will seal that wall very nice. Liquid rubber, it hardens, it makes a nice hard shell, And then out here, you can see here's the footer. Out here is where our gravel is, and our pipe sits right here, and then more gravel to cover that, so water can't really penetrate. It has to drop into our system and be carried away all the way down to the sump pit. Go ahead. So you can see all the seams have now been sealed, and little tough spot here by the water lines that come in. Remember, this is Florida, so you've got water that actually came out right here from the bathroom, and they came outside and they went over and they brought it into the next bathroom, which is just how they do it down here. But yeah, looking good, making a nice seal, nice and clean. We're almost ready to lay our gravel and our perforated pipe. Okay, so now it's time to set up our sump pump, our Zoller M53. We start with a male threaded 1.5" adapter. This screws into the port. Just put it on there hand tight. Make sure you don't cross thread it. Next, you cut a piece of 1.5" PVC. I like to just get it right above the safety bar. The safety bar protects the float, the switch that turns the pump on and off. And from that, we're going to put a check valve. That only allows water to flow one direction. All check valves have some type of marking. You can see the arrows. That tells you the water flow goes one direction. So we're going to go ahead and glue our first piece in here. Good PVC cement. Put a good amount on there. Push it into your fitting. Give it a little twist. And hold it for a few seconds because it's liquid and it tries to push itself up. Once it sets, which is just a few seconds, you're good. Next, you need a 5/16 inch nut driver because these are no hub bands, stainless steel no hub bands, and they connect this. They connect your check valve to your pipe. So we're going to tighten these up. Just as tight as your drill can make it. And this is ready to go. Always double check, make sure your arrows are pointing up, and this is ready to install. From the inside the pit, we'll put the riser on it. It'll come up, it'll have a 90 on it, and send it out of the pit and over here to the pop-up at the discharge. Next, I'm going to drill a hole for our discharge. This is the 1.5" PVC. This is a 2-inch hole saw. A 2-inch hole saw. You can see the hole down here. Pull that root out. This is where the outlet from the pump comes out and comes through here. So a lot of times you're going to find pipes. Here's an electrical conduit. Our 1.5" is going to have to come under that, so we had to dig it out a little bit there. You can see our footer and our gravel perforated pipe will lay in that small trench under the, just under the top of the footer. It's going to come around. We'll cut off this nipple, and that's where the pipe, the inlet from the footer tile comes into the sump pit. So you can see how we've plumbed it. We've got our check valve, tightened it up. A little piece of a riser right here comes into a 90, and it comes out of the pit. Let me move out of the way, tight section here. Goes under that electric wire. Continues on down. We're just going to go ahead and fit our pipe together, send it over to the driveway. So we're putting this pipe together. You just lift it up, some glue, coupling, push and twist it. Since he already put a 90 on it, he's just checking the other end to make sure that it's pointing in the right direction, and it is looking really good. Remember, this pipe doesn't have to be deep. This is just the discharge from the sump pit. So it's under pressure, and it can come uphill, downhill, make turns. The pump is pushing this water at anywhere from 40 to 60 gallons per minute. So you can see we've set our pop-up at the proper grade, and now we're going to set these stones back in here. We've already started to backfill, lay that sod back on there. Back here in the back, gravel by the bag, we have just enough. We've got our perforated pipe set down just below the footer. There's gravel underneath. Now we're putting the gravel on the top, and then we'll cover that with our fabric and backfill, and we're done. It's okay if we cover up the old water lines, it's not going to make any difference. And now we're just going to go ahead and pour some gravel into this spot over here, and then we'll put some more fabric over it and backfill. You can see our sump pit over here that's got the Zoller M53 in it. As that water comes down this line, it's going to go into the pit, lift it up, comes out through 1.5-inch pipe, discharges in the driveway. I've added a small catch basin here to help collect surface water. Just have some tape over the top of it to keep it clean. So you can see we've got our fabric folded over. Now we're going to go ahead and start backfilling. And you can see that all of our gravel is actually well below the floor. The floor is way up here, but we sealed up above the stucco just to help keep it, you know, make sure it doesn't get through there. But a real good, easy project for the homeowner. I mean, this only took about 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours, and it's really quick, especially digging in the sand. The secret is lots of gravel, and make sure you seal that wall all the way down to the footer. Okay, so we're finished backfilling. Just a couple little things to do. You can see we've backfilled along that wall, and good system installed down there. We're just going to scrape off the pit. Right here's the pit. We'll uncover that. They'll need to put some type of a planter over top of it. We've got a catch basin right here. We'll undo that. We'll put an extension cord on here, plug that in, blow it off, and we're done. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.